Congressman Mike Johnson knows all about it, member of Judiciary and Armed Services, and joins us now. Congressman, are you concerned about a shutdown?
Yeah, I am. I don't think it's a good idea for anybody. Government shutdowns are unpopular and they're expensive. And you put people like our servicemen and women in jeopardy by not receiving a paycheck. So we have to avoid it. I mean, I'm on House leadership. Brian, as you know, Vice Chair of the House Republicans, there was a lot of work, productive work, being done over August. Sometimes it's beneficial to have members break out into smaller groups, the ones that have issues about some of the spending and work things out. And we thought we were getting closer. I still think that we can, and we had a very optimistic and I think upbeat meeting just within the last hour here with all the House Republicans. I think we're going to get to yes.
I tell you, I talked to Congressman Matt Rosendale this morning. He's not close to yes. He's absolutely a no. He said, I am tired of the spending under Nancy Pelosi. He doesn't want to give your own party another month.
Yeah, and Matt's a good friend of mine, but here's the deal. I mean, the CR that was negotiated, the one that would actually be on the table and on the floor this week, cuts 8% of bloated government spending, and it puts our top priority, one of our top priorities, of course, closing the border right out front. And it makes the Democrats in the White House respond to that. I mean, this is strategically, it's a really smart move. I think we'll get there. The problem is, Brian, of course, is we only have a 4-vote margin right now, and so it's exceedingly difficult to get it done. But, I think we will. I think we're going to get the job done.
Well, I mean, what do you have? Because Steve Scalise is undergoing, his cancer treatment. I understand you got a few paternity situations. So you have, I think, in best scenario, 5-seat margin. What do you think you have now?
Well, the plan is to put the CR on the floor. I think Thursday is the current plan. And Steve can be here, but because of his cancer treatments, his immunity's down, so he can't come into the large gatherings. But he can don a mask and come in and cast a vote, and the others will be here as well. So I think we'll have our full House here. Okay. Short 1 seat of a retirement we just had.
So you have 4?
We'll have 4, yeah.
All right, so 4, and the guy goes, Matt Rosendale, well, let's say he's a definite no. And I believe there's another definite no out there. My question is, nobody's more conservative than you, Chip Roy, Scott Perry. There's some people that just don't want to negotiate anything. You guys are having problems with your own side. You haven't even picked up the phone and find out what the Senate's thinking.
All right. Well, I mean, the reality here is math, and that's what Chip and I and Scott Perry and others are trying to communicate. And we did this morning in the meeting that, guys, we can't always get everything we want. This won't be a perfect bill. It took us a long time to get into this debt situation we're in. Now we've crossed the 33 trillion mark in debt. It's almost unbelievable. But you can't turn a battleship on a dime. It takes a while to do it. This is a really important, necessary first step. And then we've all got to dig in and make the hard choices. We are out of time. We cannot kick the can down the road any further. And we see the debt as the greatest threat to our national security, among everything else.
So why is it, Congressman Johnson, that you guys didn't get the 10 appropriations bill done? Is it just too hard?
It's difficult. I mean, think of it, talk about reality, right? We have this very small majority, one of the smallest in the history of the Congress, and we have members who are elected from, congressional districts that President Biden won by, 10 points. So they're going to look at issues very differently than us. They're going to look at the spending problem a little differently than us. They're still Republicans. They're still on our team. And so our job in House leadership is to work with all of those interests and forge the consensus. And I think the fear of the growing debt and what it will mean to us as a nation is going to bring people to the table. There's a lot of factors here that are weighing in on that, and I think ultimately everybody's going to do the right thing on the Republican side, at least.
Right. So have you looked at what the Senate approved? They got all their appropriations bills done, and I think it's great to have regular order. People want to see something regular and routine, but have you seen it? Can you deal with? I haven't, and you're more astute at this stuff, obviously, than almost everyone listening and me. So, can you deal with any of that? I mean, is there a wiggle room there to negotiate something?
Well, look, our premise all along has been that we need to begin with a baseline of fiscal year 22 spending. I mean, that's not asking a lot. This is just a little bit past us on the calendar. But what the Senate has done on most of these approaches is they've plussed it up. They've added new spending, added additional things. I mean, that's a non-starter on our side. I mean, ultimately, we know that the approach bills are going to wind up in a conference committee where the final agreement is hashed out. But I think it's really important, conservatives in the House think it's really important to send the right message from the House to begin that process, that we have to get serious about the spending. It's easy to pass bills, Brian, if you're just spending more. It's easy to plus up a bill and get it through and get everybody to vote for it. The responsible thing, the principal thing, is to address the debt and begin to curtail spending, and that's what we've committed to do in the House.
Right. Well, yeah, we'll see, because also at stake, obviously, everybody knows what's a year away, another election, and everybody knows how close it will be. There's about 15 seats, they say, roughly, that are in play, and everyone's watching. So I want to switch, if I can, over to Hunter Biden. What do you think about the lawsuits against the whistleblowers for embarrassing him and coming forward? What's your response to that?
It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. Of course, whistleblowers are encouraged and protected in our system. They always have been. We have statutes that protect them from this kind of nonsense. They are trying to send a message. I mean, this has been communicated on Fox News many times, and I think it's exactly right, that they want to intimidate other whistleblowers from coming forward. See, the problem they have in the Hunter Biden investigations is that we have credible witnesses from inside these agencies. We have whistleblowers, as you know, from the FBI and the IRS, people that were trusted for many years, and they've come forward to clear their conscience and say what is happening. So they want to go after those people and make an example of them, whether they're successful in this or not. They want to, by fear and intimidation, they want to discourage others from coming forward and speaking, because they're sending the message that they'll bankrupt them. You know, they'll sue them personally, bring them to court, and it'll take a war chest to defend them. And so it's just despicable behavior on their part. But we're not surprised by that.
So you have the impeachment inquiry, and people like Ken Buck came out and said it's a big mistake. Here's my editorial about it. There's not enough there. Hunter's bad. There's no links to Joe. Listen to what Governor Gavin Newsom said yesterday. Cut 14.
There are a lot of folks in a lot of industries, not just in politics, where people have family members and relationships, and they're trying to parlay and get a little influence and benefit in that respect. That's hardly unique. I don't love that any more than you love it, or other people, I imagine, love that. We want to see a lot less of that. But an impeachment inquiry, give me a break. This is student government. Student government. Threatening debt again, or rather threatening a government shutdown again after we went through that process with the debt ceiling. This is student government. This is a joke. Ready, fire, aim. I mean, this is a perversity what the founding fathers ever conceived of and imagined.
So you're letting Gavin Newsom down. I don't know if you're going to be able to sleep tonight, but what do you think? What do you think about that?
I mean, that is comical. I mean, Gavin Newsom, of course, was a cheerleader for the Trump sham impeachments, right? Now he's suddenly gotten religion. It's ridiculous. He has no credibility at all, and he knows what he's saying isn't true. We have credible evidence, allegations of abuse, misuse of the office, bribery, influence peddling, and now mounting evidence to show it. We have uncovered, everybody knows now, the president repeatedly lied to the American people about his knowledge and his involvement in Hunter Biden's foreign business dealings. And we have text messages from Hunter himself explicitly discussing payment. He texted a Chinese businessman asking why the commitment has not been fulfilled. He was sitting next to his dad on the couch. He texted his daughter and said, quote, "Unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary," right? So the reason we moved it into the impeachment inquiry stage is because that gives us greater subpoena power. We can change our investigative requests in the eyes of the courts, right? And it gives us a larger megaphone to deliver these facts to the American people. That's what we're going to be doing in earnest. They have been impeding our investigations, Brian, as you know, and this takes us to the next level to connect the remaining dots.
Yeah.
I think we know where the truth is going to lead.
And who's next up?
Well, we're pursuing now, we have this big hearing tomorrow with the Attorney General himself. Merrick Garland will be in Judiciary tomorrow morning. And we've got a lot of questions with him, for example, about what's happened with the Weiss investigation into Hunter. There's some really serious questions there. Is the DOJ directly involved? Are they directing Attorney Weiss's investigations and getting him to throttle back? We'll find out. We've got a lot to ask.
Yeah.